will be familiar with Ismail. He's one of, I believe he's one of our leading water consultants in Nigeria. He's not in Nigeria right now, which is why he's remote. Ismail, I hand over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Peter, for that introduction, and also to Matteo for giving us some of the insights into Autodesk's vision and how it envisions, supporting the water sector by providing tools that are vital to engineering and the management of critical water and wastewater infrastructure. So basically what I'm going to do, my role today is to provide an overview of some of the specific products that are available. So I'll just jump right into it. So this provides an overview of the software applicable in the water space. As a practitioner in the water industry, specifically in the Nigeria market, I would need to mention that not all of this software will perhaps find application in our industry as it presently exists. We are all aware of the limitations, some of the limitations that we encounter from the lack of difficulty of obtaining data, to inconsistent and unstable service levels, to unserviceable fittings in existing systems, to a total non-existence of sensors, and multiple other challenges. So the intention here is basically to highlight what is out there and provide an overview of the products. First off, we have info drainage. For its info drainage is basically design. It's for the design and sizing of stormwater infrastructure. It's used for the optimization of networks, to mitigate flooding and, meet other regulatory requirements. And then there's also InfoWorks ICM, ICM standing for Integrated Catchment Modeling. It's for modeling and simulation of flood and stormwater drainage systems and sewer collection systems. We have InfoWorks WS Pro and InfoWater Pro for modeling water distribution systems. And then, the last two, Info 360 Asset and Info 360 Insight, basically operational tools and asset management, software. They're cloud-based. The intention here is, is just to, highlight these packages. I will talk about some of the functionalities and capabilities of these products, in subsequent slides, but I'm not doing a deep dive or detailed presentation of any of the products. My colleague Hassanin, will however do, a much more detailed presentation of InfoWorks WS Pro in particular. I think he would also be sharing, some of the user stories and success stories where the tool has actually been used. So InfoWorks, I'm starting off with InfoWorks WS Pro, and as mentioned earlier, Hassanin will do the deep dive on the capabilities and functionalities of InfoWorks WS Pro. But just to give you a little quick overview, personally, I've found InfoWorks WS Pro to be an amazing product for the modeling and analysis of water distribution networks. It has basically all the functionalities, that were used in other distribution software. I mean, at least the ones that I've used. And in addition, some of the features that I found to be quite interesting, include, the collaboration capabilities. It has this capacity or ability or capability, so to say, to allow multiple users to edit the same model simultaneously. So that greatly enhances this aspect of, collaborative, the collaborative approach towards, getting solutions to some of the problems that we encounter, and it not only does master planning, but it also mimics operations. Talking about InfoWorks, and I was saying that it's not only does master planning, but it mimics, operations and assess network resilience. For example, the transient or surge analysis and evaluation of hammer protection are just some of the tools that you find within the system. It does. Another interesting thing is the critical link analysis, where you have user-defined parameters. It's really great for understanding operational impact changes. And then also from a modeling and analysis perspective, it's got tools for inference of missing network values, and that essentially works where you have some missing data or unavailable data, and then it's able to infer from data that you've already put in there. And then other tools like built-in queries and scripting for customized structured query languages are just all part of the functionalities of the system. And next up is InfoWater Pro. It's also a water distribution network modeling software, and it runs on the traditional APANET engine. For InfoWater Pro, it operates in GIS and specifically ArcGIS environment. And because of this, it leverages spatial analysis and visualization tools. So one can easily utilize mapping tools within the GIS environment and subsequently undertake advanced hydraulic network analysis within the same environment. It can also be used as a tool to understand operational impacts with 2D and 3D visualizations. I have to add that it's actually similar to InfoWorks WS Pro. It has capabilities for transient and surge analysis, and can evaluate for water hammer protection. So basically, you don't need an additional software or an add-on or some other sort of package to do surge analysis with the InfoWater Pro. So InfoDrainage It's a full design and analysis solution, that uses intuitive controls. It's quite cost effective and reliable, when it comes to doing drainage designs, and you can basically use it for sizing your infrastructure, and then also other design requirements. It's quite very well rated for the green infrastructure by hello?
Yes.
Hi, Misbah, we can hear you, yeah.
All right, okay, thank you. I think I'm having a little bit of challenge with the connection. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I was talking about info drainage. It's basically the package, the tool that you use for the design of stormwater and other green infrastructure systems. It's got some great auditing tools, and you can actually integrate info drainage with Civil 3D, and then you can use it with GIS and other CAD elements, using by importing and exporting files between the package. It's got, even though it won't be available, for our environment, but perhaps, it's something that maybe in the future, can also work, talking about this ability to link with the national meteorological data centers, in which it can also import data, and that would speed up and support in the analysis and design of infrastructure. InfoWorks ICM, actually the ICM, as I mentioned earlier, stands for Integrated Catchment Modeling. It's an advanced integrated catchment modeling software for complex hydraulic and hydrologic network elements. It's specifically used for stormwater, sewer, and flood modeling and analysis. That incorporates actually not only sewers and storm infrastructure, but rivers, canals, and other hydraulic elements, are taking into consideration, when you're doing your design or analysis. Analysis of sewers, the flooding evaluation, incorporates the rivers and canals. It's not particularly a design software, but it's more targeted towards existing infrastructure and the terrain within the project area. It can be used to plan for emergency scenarios such as floods and wastewater spill risks, system expansions, and capacity improvement, things like that. InfoWorks ICM, has both 1D and 2D modeling and simulation capabilities. the capabilities that I mentioned with InfoWorks WS Pro are also available or incorporated in InfoWorks ICM, in which the enhanced collaboration between stakeholders, the built-in queries, and then the ability to do scripting, customize queries using structured query language, and then also the data inferencing, where you have some missing information or data. It's a tool that you can use within the software. Then I'd mention the Info360 asset. That's basically a cloud-based application that is used for the management of assets. You manage the capture, the condition of the different assets that you have. System.
Mishbao,
Yes.
Pause for a second. We're just changing power source.
Okay.
Just pause for a second. We're just saying changing power source. So the projector's gone off. So just give us a minute, and then you can carry on. Good thing this isn't a power seminar. I think they're going to put on generators now.
Indeed. Is there a blackout over there, Peter Fisher?
No, yes, the power's gone out.
Okay.
So we just have to wait. We're just waiting for them to switch over.
Okay.
The generator. We're almost there. Oh, again. Okay, just 1 second. Just this funny cable, this to and continue. They won't be able to see anything. Mishbao?
Yeah. Are we good?
Yeah. can. It's just this one. Happened before. Are there any questions from the room whilst we're doing this? Are there any questions from the room? Yes, I think yeah. Yeah, okay. Misbah, you can continue. But are there any questions for the board? You said that there's a comment? Okay. Just from here. Yeah, Mishbal.
Yes, Peter. Are we good?
Yeah, you can continue.
Right. Okay, so I think okay, so we were talking about Info 360 asset, and I mentioned that it's a cloud-based application primarily used for assets management of physical assets, using a central database. It stores, manipulates, and is able to report asset information, provide data. You can basically use it to view your assets, on a geographical map superimposed on 2D and 3D maps. It's a tool, that also helps with the evaluation of likelihood of failure, and the consequence of failure. Using GIS data, the condition of the assets, the historic performance of the assets, with inbuilt tools that you can evaluate the your exposure to risks in regards to those particular sets of elements. It's got workflow-based approvals, where you can make decisions on capital.
From the end. Usually they used to say, then you ask them to send it. When you see this, you can see one button and this one. And it shows you can it is recorded.
Is that question? Yeah, getting some information, so I'm just going to continue. Okay, Info 360 Insights is another cloud-based application, that is used for increasing the efficiencies of of operations.
Sorry, Misbah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I'm not sure if there was a question being asked. If it's the case, we couldn't hear it really.
Okay, I heard some comments in the background, but I didn't quite also get what was.
Can we check with Peter maybe? If Peter is there.
Peter, are you there?
I guess maybe there is no question, but if there is, it would be just good for Peter to just highlight to us because we could barely hear.
Okay, I think we'll just get on with it, and then maybe if there's a question from someone at the end, they can come up with the questions. Yeah, so the Info360 is plant. Info360 plant is the software is for water treatment plants and wastewater treatment plants. Analyzing the operations and also the design, developing process flow diagrams, as a step towards doing the design of the systems. It uses some real-time analytics, in streamlining the processes, and as an operational tool, it's something that can be used for generating reports. When you're sharing with stakeholders and management and things like that. So the last slide just gives an overview, of how all the different systems, you can view them through the project life cycle, from planning to design to the construction stage and the operations and maintenance. So looking at network structures, for example, this provides an overview of how other products from Autodesk and then also the Innovyze products, work together to complete the project life cycle, where you use one product or the other and then have the ability to communicate and talk to each other, and then make the transition easier from the planning stage, for example, to the design stage. And then so because all the software are from the same source, they're able to make the transition much more seamless, with very little impact to the integrity of data when you move from one stage of the project life cycle to the next one. So I hope this gives a broad overview of the products that are available. As I mentioned earlier, some of these projects are not particularly applicable in the environment that we find ourselves in, but the definite ones like the InfoWorks WS Pro, the Info Drainage, InfoWater, and the InfoWorks ICM.
Yeah. Mr. Have you stopped sharing? Have you stopped sharing?
Are you not seeing my screen?
No.
Okay. Anyway, so I was on the last screen anyway. And I think that basically concludes the presentation.